One of my favorite places that you talk about is the Hall of Miracles. But tell me, as you were entering, tell me about those body parts you saw.
All right. This place in heaven that's called the Hall of Miracles is probably my favorite place to go to when I visit heaven.
It'd be my favorite.
And it's an enormous hall, miles and miles long, and it's gold floor with beautiful chandeliers that's all diamonds hanging from the whole ceiling. And all down this hall, there are doorways, all doorways. And so the Lord brought me there, and I said, can I go in and see what's in the doorways? And he said, sure, you can go in. So I went in the first doorway. The first doorway on the left was a room full of body parts. There were legs, there were arms, there were eyeballs, there were ears. There were all the things that God's children here on the earth would need. He's got them there in this room, ready. We can ask him for those things, not just for ourselves, for others too. And he said if we would do that, we would keep his angels busy day and night, bringing those treasures that are in the Hall of Miracles to the earth now.
He had sandy brown hair. He took me up into the heavens. I was taken to the body parts room. And there on the table and hanging were hearts, kidneys, bones, livers, different body parts, fingers, eyes, ears, all kinds of body parts.
The next room he took me in, full of body parts, went in there. Whoa, it was a weird room. Eyeballs blinking at me, ears and eyeballs and livers and spleens and toes. Anyway, I've been in that room. It has skin. And the Lord said, when I tell you, you can go in here. I said, what? The last room you said anytime. This room you said, when I tell you. I said, why when you tell me? He said, because if you could go in there anytime, you'd never sleep. I said, oh, that's true. I wouldn't sleep because I have a mercy heart. If I could give out spleens and livers and kidneys and hearts and eyes at all times, in every situation, I would never sleep and I'd be dead by now.
Tell me what you saw.
About 500 yards from the throne room of God, my friend took me, and I was captivated by the sign on the outside that said unclaimed blessings. When I opened the door, to my astonishment, I saw legs hanging there from the wall. I saw
real
arms,
legs?
Real legs. Every part of one's anatomy was there in that room. And people ask me, why do you need a place like that? Because God has a spare part room. God has a miracle. And I saw what happens, Sid, when people on the earth pray. The prayers go up, and Jesus receives that prayer. He commissions, sends out an angel. Angel goes and takes the spare part room, brings it down immediately. Now, sometimes it's instantaneous. Sometimes it's like Daniel, who had to wait 21 days to receive his manifestation. But here's what I saw. I saw people receive their miracle, and then on the other hand, I saw the angel bring the miracle to the person, and the person say something like this, well, I guess it's just not my time.
So the Lord told me, that, that there are spare parts, in heaven. Because I recall I was walking to a corridor, and there was high walls left and right. And as I was walking through this corridor, I could see body parts hanging on, they were sticked onto the wall, different parts, hands, kidneys, different parts. And I was wondering, and I was amazed, I was baffled, and I kept looking, and I could see parts all over, and when I turned around, I could see different body parts hanging all over the place. And then in the dream, I asked the Lord, I said, what's the meaning of all this? So the Lord now told me, said that in the physical realm, when prayer has been offered for people, concerning, for instance, kidney failure, certain aspects, people prayed for, these parts, these are the exchange, they are replaced by these parts that I'm looking at. So when people, because obviously it's something that we cannot see, it's a spiritual things as people are laying hands, as they are praying for people, obviously you cannot see them, but it's a spiritual thing, and the Lord said when people pray, for various kind of, problem and things and all that, say these body parts, they are the one, that he sent down heaven, through his angel to replace these parts.
Did the angel bring in God's healing to her womb that was diseased and destroyed and malfunctioning and barren? Or did he just bring a body part? Did he bring her a new womb from heaven to exchange from the old one? Now, the Bible doesn't say. Did that angel cause God's power of healing to be released into the people who are blind and crippled and diseased and all of that, and have their current limbs that were malfunctioning or their eyes that were blind be healed? Or did he just bring them new body parts? When he came down to stir that water, was he releasing new legs, new eyes, new arms into people? I don't know. The Bible doesn't say. Angels do bring the power of Jesus to heal, but they're serving God's people. So why not bring a new body part? Is it possible? Well, I've seen it with my own eyes. Now, I used to hear people talk about body parts angels before and how there's a body parts room in heaven. And I thought, oh boy, that's super cool. But it was hard for me to actually believe it until I saw it. Now, the first time, I've seen many times this has happened in our meetings since, but the very first time I had an encounter with the body parts angels is I was in a Kansas prison. It's a men's prison. I was teaching on getting people healed in their soul, leading people in worship. And at the very end, I was activating people into the prayers, into the healing and the working of miracles, when I saw the heavens in the room open up and a staircase came down. And then I saw angels coming down the staircase carrying platters. And now I was like, what is that? What are they carrying? And when I took a closer look, I saw that on the platters were body parts. In this particular day, I saw a spine, I saw a neck, and I saw a knuckle, which we're not going to talk about this time, but we're going to talk about in our part 2 of this series. Okay, so then God had me say specific prayers to lead these men into receiving these body parts that God was having the angels bring down from heaven.
I got to see the rooms in heaven, and they were amazing. And there was everything there. The first room was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I walk in there with the Father. He tells me, you open the door. He gave me the keys. He said he prepared these rooms, and I didn't know what that meant till I went to heaven and I saw him. And I went in, whoosh, and there was all these body parts. There was every kind of, there was ears and eyes and noses, there was intestines, there were legs, there were feet, there were all these body parts. He said, oh, you can go in there any time. I said, I can? He says, yeah, I'll tell you when to go in there. You go in there and we'll get a leg and we'll put it on and they'll be fine. He goes, you just listen to me and we go in together. We'll just go in and we'll get some eyes. And I said, that is so cool. I thought that was such a cool thing, this room full of body part. So I just started going in there. I listened to the Father. Whoa. I didn't just run in. I listened to the Father. I was just walking around. I don't tell old stories. This is new. Nothing's old. There's no old revival. The revival's happening. I don't like old stories when you by a long time ago when God used to move. Forget it.
This person's asking if Jesus can speak healing over us, and of course we can speak healing over everyone, then why is there a warehouse of body parts in heaven? They want to know, why would there be such a thing if he can just speak it over you and make it happen? Why does there have to be a warehouse?